Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Emanuel Zion. He is 3-0 with one KO, and he is back out fourth on the 4th of March. Back at the York Hall, York Hall, Bethnal Green. So if you can make it down on that day, buy tickets off Emmanuel. How many what are the ticket prices, mate?
It's a bit early. They're normally around 45 or 50, but we don't know just yet because it's a little bit early. But as soon as they're up and out, I'll pop them. I'll pop them on my Instagram or something.
Yeah. So follow Emmanuel on his Instagram as well. My first question for you is, what's been your hardest fight so far?
I think my last one. I wouldn't say it was a difficult fight, but it was difficult not because of the opponent, but because of other things. So I had to move up in weight. He was a couple of weight classes heavier than me. He was a little bit bigger. So it took me a little bit longer to try and break him down. And initially it was supposed to be a 6-rounder, but I had a lot of pullouts, a lot of opponents pulled out, and I ended up only being able to find someone who could give me a 4. And so obviously I had to.
At least George stepped in, so you still had a fight,
Yeah,
which was good, and you still beat him quite comfortably.
yeah. I'm quite lucky that he done that, to be fair, because it would have been very difficult to get me another fight because it was very last minute. You had to change it because the Queen passed when I was supposed to be fighting the week before.
Yes.
Yeah, we got there in the end.
Which is the main thing. What about when you so you made your debut in March against Liam Richards? Yeah. How did you feel as it was your debut? Were you nervous at all?
No, no. My debut was quite funny. The thing is, I didn't realize how many people were coming to my debut until I stepped out. So I stepped out and like the music started playing, and I saw essentially the whole crowd stand up. It was mental, and I got really excited seeing everyone. And I remember I came dancing out to that fight, and it was a good song that I was playing. And yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. Mainly because not being funny, but I had an alright amateur career, and because of that, I'm used to fighting. It wasn't anything new to me.
Yeah.
And like the hard bit for me is always in the gym. So I might get nervous before I do like a really difficult run. So if I'm trying to beat my 5K record, or if I'm trying to lift a new weight, that might give me nerves.
Oh,
But
so you're more nervous when you're training?
100%, because my training is way harder than my fights. That's how I see it at the minute, anyways. It'll probably change, like obviously as I go
When
up
you
a
get
level.
into that title picture, which
Yeah,
I'm sure you will in this new year because you're smashing it at the minute.
yeah. I think well, that's the plan. The idea is to get into title contention, maybe in the second half of next year, ideally. So I'm going to try and get as many fights as I can next year, and then just pop straight into title contention.
So
Hopefully, go for a Southern Area title before the end of the year.
so is the next one a 6-rounder?
Yes, a 6-rounder. So I'm probably going to do a couple sixes, and then maybe an 8, maybe not necessarily, but maybe, and then just head for a 10-rounder. I'm personally more of I'm better with more rounds anyways. I don't normally really get warmed up until about round 4. So yeah, that's normally it works out better for me to have more rounds. So I'm looking forward to doing more rounds next time.
Yeah. In your second fight, you got a very good stoppage, didn't you? You stopped Sam Bower, who's a very tough man, and he was in the Olympics as well.
Yeah, Sam was he was a southpaw, and so for me personally, funny enough, in the amateurs, I think my first actual loss that I can go hand on my heart. Yeah, I lost that fight was against somebody who's a friend of mine now, Elijah. He's a southpaw, and I was thinking, and he's the only southpaw that I boxed throughout my whole amateur career. And when I turned pro, I said to myself, look, the only person or the first person who really genuinely beat me was the southpaw, So I need to make sure that when I go into the pros, I don't have a weakness against southpaws. So I spent a lot of time practicing ways to deal with them. And I got Elijah back down for sparring as well. And I learned a lot from him and how to handle it. So when I was given a southpaw in Sambu, I knew immediately I'd get the stoppage. And because I watched him and stylistically, he's a bad matchup for me. And Sambu can be at times a bit aggressive. I'm an aggressive counterpuncher. So the more aggressive you are against me, the more likely you are to get stopped. So him being aggressive and actually coming on the front foot gave me more opportunities. And I think we're
Gave
going to
you
see more
more
of that as the levels go up.
opportunities to get him out of there, and you did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want people who give me a bit of a challenge and who come for a bit of a fight, because that's when you'll see the best of me, really.
So after the round one, because I think you stopped him in the second, wasn't it?
Yeah, second.
So after round one, were your corner saying, "Let's get this stoppage," or?
Um, no. After round one, my corner told me to calm down. So essentially, it might have been an accident, but I don't know if it was an accident or not. I don't. Maybe it wasn't, but he headbutted me a few times in that, and so the first time he did it, I went, "Oh, hang on a minute." Took a little step back, and as I took a step back to give him space, he went to throw a massive overhand at me, and it hit me square on the chin. And I realized, oh, that wasn't an accident. So I started to lose my temper a little bit. When he headbutted me about 2 or 3 times, I started to get angry. So I went to my corner and I was shouting and everything, and my coach was like, "Calm down, like, relax, calm down. You got this, relax." And I calmed down and I was like, "Okay, do you know what? Let me not get angry and let me just handle the job at hand." But I'm pretty sure my corner did know that the stoppage was there. They could already see it. So he kind of was like, one of my coaches did say, yeah, like just get him out of there when the round started. So yeah, they were pretty much aware.
Yeah. So you're boxing at lightweight, aren't you?
Yeah, super lightweight. Yeah, super lightweight.
So that's where because I know you went up. What weight did you fight George at?
Yeah, I fought George at just above, because it was 157 pounds, which is middle. So it's
Wow.
Yeah, so technically, it's supposed to be super welter, but it's middle because it's 157. But yeah, so yeah, I went up a bit to go and fight George, but I will be
I can't expect you
going
to
back.
box back up at that weight.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Well, at least at this current level, it's not an issue for me because I'm naturally quite big. Like when I first started boxing, I was really heavy. I only started boxing to lose weight because I was about 100 kilograms at the time, which is yeah, which would put me as a heavyweight really. And I worked my way down, and I naturally carry quite a bit of weight, so I think I could box comfortably up to middleweight, like very comfortable. If I wanted to, I could. But I enjoy the
So
challenge of getting down in weight.
do you believe that that's would be the highest that you could go?
Yeah, yeah. I think the highest. I thought about this. I think the highest that I can go is middle. And the thing is, I think that I could. I think I have enough power to box higher, like to box even higher than that. But it's not the power; it's the natural advantages. Like people are a lot taller, and for me personally, I have a lot of elements to my game, and I like sometimes boxing on the back foot. I like being aggressive. I like counter punching, and it's easier to do that when at super lightweight you have people of all different shapes and sizes. So you can have really tall, skinny fighters. You can have really short, stocky fighters, and that variety is why I like being at that weight class.
Do you prefer fighting someone who's smaller than you or taller?
I actually find smaller opponents. I don't know if that's true anymore, but in the amateurs, I found shorter opponents harder because I boxed at middleweight and welterweight in the amateurs, and at the end of my career, I boxed at super lightweight or light welterweight. So I came down, and I actually found the start a lot easier because they're bigger, they're easier targets. a lot of them aren't as fast, and to be fair, a lot of them just aren't as fit. A lot of guys that are in the higher weight classes, they should be in the lower weight classes, but they're too lazy to get down. So when I get in with them and I'm quite fit, even though I'm giving away a bit of weight, I find them easier. The shorter guys, because I was so used to boxing people that were bigger than me, the shorter guys caught me off guard. I think it surprised me because I'm not used to punching down. I don't think it's a problem now
Yeah.
anymore because I've had practice, but I find
What
the big guys.
weight are you fighting at in on the 4th of March, mate?
I should be back at super lightweight for that one.
Do we have an opponent yet or not just yet?
Not just yet. It's really early. They've literally just given me a date, but they haven't got me an opponent just yet.
Well, they've got plenty of time to do it.
Yeah, bang on. It should be fine. It'll be hopefully they give me someone good. I hope for a bit of a challenge. It'd be nice.
A little bit of a step up.
I think so. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that would be nice.
So the Southern Area champions, Dennis
Yeah,
Chiakayev.
Dennis at the minute. Yeah, that's
I
correct.
think he's fighting Tom Ansell.
Yeah, Tom Ansell he's fighting, I believe. Yeah, should be a good fight there.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Will you be there, like watching? Is
I
there?
might be. I might be. Yeah, I might be. Depends if I'm about, then I might be watching that. Yeah.
I think they're on the 11th of March, so a few weeks after yours.
Yeah. Literally about a week after it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, a week after. Who,
Yeah.
who who would you prefer to fight out of them, or whoever wins, you'll have to fight really if they've still got
I
it.
don't mind. I don't mind. I don't
You
mind.
just want that belt, don't you, mate?
Yeah, I just want the belt. I don't care who's got it, but I'm gonna take it off someone. But yeah, like I think uh, I, I haven't seen too much of Tom Ansell, but I did watch Dennis's last fight, and he done all right. He boxed I think it was Idris Hill for the title,
Yeah, it was
and
ID.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a decent fight, and yeah, I
ID
think
was
that
winning the first 3 rounds. Then Dennis clipped him in the fourth that just quit knockdown, and then the fifth he just caught him
yeah,
flush
yeah.
and he couldn't recover, which is well, yeah, it was you could see he couldn't recover from that shot.
Yeah, it happens. I kind of like I like how Idris fights. To be fair, as well, I like he kind of comes forward and he really comes to give it a go. That might be a good fight because the thing is, obviously, um, you can't fight for a Southern Area title normally until you've had a couple of fights. So by the time that I end up fighting for it, Dennis might not be there anymore. So I might
Yeah,
not end up fighting
you
him
never
or
know because if Dennis beats Tom, he might want to go for
for
like
an
an
English or something.
English because
Yeah,
he just when you win that area title, you never know. Some people defend it like twice and then push on, or once then push on. It
yeah,
depends
exactly.
who's
You know,
around.
I don't know if he's going to be there, but if he's not there, someone like ID would be good. I've never met him, but I actually quite like him. But I wouldn't mind fighting him. That would be a good matchup as well. To be fair,
It'll be a
that would
good
be.
fight, UVID.
I think so. Yeah, I think that'd be a good fight.
Yeah. But there's quite a few super lightweights out there looking for that area title now. I think Ahmed Hatim as well is looking for it.
He's gone down in weight. Actually, he's gone down to lightweight. Um, as of his last fight, he went down. I
Oh
think
yeah,
Ahmed's a good fighter. Yeah, Ahmed's a good fighter. I like him as well. We get on. He's a good
he
guy.
stopped Narvaez last time.
Yes, he did. Yeah, yeah. It's a
That
really good.
not yeah. So who's your trainer and what gym do you train out of?
So at the minute, I'm trained, yeah, at Double Jab, and I've got a guy called Paul Strutt who's also an amateur coach um, up up north, somewhere up north of London, and I've got Mike Harris. At the minute, though, my head trainer Mike is a bit busy, so I might be making a slight move, but I'm not going to say anything yet. But I might be getting a new trainer soon. Yeah,
Because he's
so
got a few other fighters as well that he helps out.
yeah, we've got but it's not even busy that he's busy with boxing. He's just busy with other life stuff. So he's taking a bit of a step back and a bit of a break from it.
Oh, that's
Because
fair enough.
yeah, like we're good mates, and he's like, if I want to do it with you, then I want to make sure that I'm there 100%, and I completely respect that. But we do have a good little stable going at Double Jab at the minute because there's only about 5 pros there. We all turn pro at the same time, and we've got Cliff Francis, who's
He's
going to
making
be
his debut, I think.
he's making his debut on the 4th of March as well. Yeah, he's going to be at light heavyweight, good fighter. He's oh, he can crack quite a bit actually, to be fair. And I think at
I'll
light
keep
heavyweight,
an
he'd
eye
be
out for him.
Yeah. Then we've got Devon Miller, the Wolf. He's a cracking fighter as well.
He was in a his debut was a great fight, and then
His
his
debut
second
was
fight.
mental. Yeah, his
And
debut
his
was
second fight, he just
cracker.
destroyed the
Yeah.
guy. He's a
He,
beast.
I think his first fight motivated his second one. And yeah, that was a very good performance. It only lasted like a minute or two, that second fight.
I
Yeah.
think that Ross McGuigan's fighting that guy Devon fought on his debut. I've heard.
Oh, really? Yeah, that'd be a good fight. That'd be interesting. Ross is a good friend of mine as well. We just fought without Riley. Yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. That'd be interesting.
It'll be a good fight.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we've also got Gabriel Marsh, who's supposed to have debuted about 4 times, but he keeps getting cancellations. I think his last cancellation was because he was supposed to fight Sambu that I stopped, but Sambu failed a medical. So that had to be a pullout. I don't know if it was because of the fight that we had or if it was something
It
new.
might have been because you stopped him. Because when you stop people, the journeyman gets suspended for a certain
Yeah,
amount
yeah,
of days. Or
exactly. Yeah. I think because I know he mentioned something to one of the coaches. He said that I remember doing this. I hit him with an uppercut, and I saw his eyes roll back. And he said one of
what fight we talking?
Sambu was the second one. Yeah, I remember hitting him with a really bad shot. And afterwards, one of my coaches asked him, "Oh, what happened in there? You were right, and etc." And he said, "I got hit with a punch, and I just lost my vision." So I don't know if that's the same thing, because apparently the medical that he failed was with his eye. So I hope he's all right. To be fair, because at the end of the day, this is still a sport,
Yeah, yeah.
and the last thing that you want is permanent damage on any fighter. Do you know what I mean? You still want them to be able to go home and to make their money as well. Do you know what I mean? So I hope he's all right. To be fair, because
Has he
obviously
fought
we're quite.
since?
No, I was the last person that he's fought. So
That's a shame. Hopefully, he can fight again because he's one
yeah,
tough man and he can cause a lot of fighters out there
upsets.
problems.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, he doesn't really get stopped. He's not a type because he's tough, and I
He
felt
is.
his power in there. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit surprised when he hit me with one of the shots. I went, oh, that wasn't a bad shot. Yeah, so
He
I hope he's
fought,
all right.
Ethan James, who fights on BT Sport.
Yeah,
Took him all the way. I reckon you v Ethan James, mate, would be a
be a
cracker.
good fight. I'll fight anyone.
Of course, I'll be rooting for you, though, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Top man. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So, it's your dream to fight like on BT or Sky or
I
DAZN?
wouldn't I wouldn't say it's a dream. It's gonna happen eventually anyways. It's 100% gonna happen. I'm gonna end up fighting on one, if not multiple of the platforms. My dream in boxing is I think I've gone beyond what I thought I wanted to do in boxing already. When I
So,
first
what was
started,
your original goal when you started boxing?
I wanted to lose weight. That was it. I wanted to lose weight, and I ended up
Well, you've already
going there.
achieved more than that, haven't you? You've gone pro.
Yeah, and I think I take boxing as it comes. Whatever happens, happens, and I just think the sky's the limit. And I dedicate myself so much to this sport that if anyone ever one day manages to give me a hard fight, then congratulations. I'm really looking forward. I really want a hard fight, you know.
Well, that
But
ID fight, Idris, Tom,
yeah, that'd be a good
when
fight.
you're at area level, mate, these harder fights will come, but you never know. As they more of them come to fight, the stoppages might start rolling in for you.
Yeah, I think they will, and they might be hard fights, but I'll make them look easy. I swear.
Yeah. So, my last question for you is: do you have any advice for someone who wants to be a boxer?
Um, First things first, you need to make sure that you understand that boxing comes with an immense amount of responsibility in terms of looking after your health. But at the same time, it also means sacrificing a lot. So for me, I have had to sacrifice a lot of family time. I miss a lot of birthdays. I'm not to be found a lot of the time, especially if, like me, I also have a full-time job. I also work on the railway. So between full-time work and training, sometimes people don't see me for months on end, and even some of my best friends, I haven't seen them for a year or two. It happens at times, and it takes a toll on you. So my advice is be prepared for that. Be prepared for some of the sleepless nights. Be prepared for the ups and downs, and dedicate yourself with everything that you've got. Work incredibly hard, especially if you start late in boxing, because some people have been boxing since they came out of nappies. So you already are at a disadvantage if you start late, and you might have some catching up to do. So make sure that you dedicate yourself, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you're not good enough. It's self belief, really. You have to really believe in yourself, and
Do
if you
you
believe in yourself,
recommend going through the amateurs?
I do, for a few reasons, because the amateurs gives you, I think a lot of fighters get a bit of a false sense of security. So if you start boxing and you just think that you can fight because you fought on the street or something, it's not the same. And what people don't understand is the pressure of being in the ring with people watching you is very unique, and you have to experience that. And my advice is to try and experience that as many times as you can, because you saw my debut.
I was at
I
your
was
second fight as
at my
well.
second fight, yeah, and I
No,
was incredibly calm.
I was at
Um,
both of your first two
First
fights.
two fights, and that's the thing. So I was incredibly calm through my fights, as you know, but that was because of my amateur experience. I wasn't afraid of. In the amateurs, I went over to Sweden and I fought in a really massive hall, where I won a gold medal. But it was in front of so many people.
Did you box a Sweden lad, someone from Sweden?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I boxed a couple of lads from Sweden. Yeah, and but because it was such a big hall, I'm already used to having a big crowd, and the nerves weren't there because I've already experienced it. You know what I mean? So I would advise anyone who wants to get into boxing, get yourself into an amateur gym, show up, show them that you're dedicated, and spend your own time. Like, don't just train when you go to the gym. Spend your own time shadow boxing, doing your runs, and be diligent. Like for me, the biggest thing is I hate my coaches telling me to do things that I should be doing on my own, because they've already got a tough enough job. Don't make the job harder for them than it needs to be. They should never be worrying about your weight and your fitness. Make sure that that's all on you.
Yes. Thank you for your time, Emmanuel, and I'll speak to you soon.
Absolute pleasure. All right,
Thank you,
take
mate.
care. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.